unforgiveness, bitterness, hatred, malice, anger, resentment will destroy your marriage. Unforgiveness, bitterness, malice, anger, resentment, they will destroy your marriage. If you marry and you are the kind that don't forgive, the marriage will not work. All these things destroy marriages. If you are not unforgiving, marriage will not work. Let me tell you something. Everybody listen to this one. Anger is not a sin. Can I say that again? Becoming angry is not a sin. And the reason it's not a sin is that God gets angry. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them. So anger is not sin. That's why Paul said, be angry and sin not. It is your actions after anger that make you sin. One of the commandments I said that you have to make anger your ally. It means that when you are couples and you are angry against one another, depends on how you handle the anger. It either bring strong intimacy or part you. It means that the way you handle the anger makes you enter the realm of sex that is even more powerful than the anger. Or if you don't handle it well, to part you. So anger itself can reinforce marriage and make it stronger. All depends on how you handle it. But when we get there, I'll put you. When we get to that place, I'll teach you. So, but if you are the kind that, because normally unforgiveness starts with anger. There is something she did that you are angry. And from the anger, you came to the place that, good morning, I'll show you that thing. It is called tortoise character. When you are dealing with a tortoise, he just cave into a tortoise syndrome. When the tortoise go into that thing, no movement. So when a man came into that particular cell, there's no movement. The thing about tortoise is not because they can even not be fast. Once you want the tortoise to get there, a little obstacle, then he goes inside. When he gets inside, he cannot move and wait until he fails. And it's very difficult to take your hand and pull the tortoise out. So when a man or a woman keeps in and come in a tortoise syndrome, it is difficult for soundness to come to the house. That is where the silence will, good morning, how are you? Is everything? And then nobody's talking. The tortoise syndrome has entered. And in the spirit realm, everything comes to a standstill. And it's as a result of the fact that there is something you are not forgiving. There is something you are not forgiving. And some people can forgive, but every 1 hour they will refer. Even though I'm forgiving you, but it's very difficult to forget. It will destroy you. That's what it is. If you forgive, don't let it be a reference point again. Period. Then you come to the place of resentment. Resentment is like you had a wound here when you were a student. Actually, the orthopedic help you, but a little weight you left, then the pain comes back. The pain comes back. It means that it is not completely healed. You have decided not to get it healed. So sometimes you are fine until your wife does something. Then you go and shake your hand, then the pain has come back. It means that you are in resentment. If you build it, I get to bitterness. By the time you are bitter, God has left you. God will never move with a bitter person. God will never work with a bitter person. And a bitter person can kill. So people that take a gun, shoot their wife, beat them till they have miscarriage, deep down inside them, they are bitter about something. They never told anybody, but it is there. Be careful the way a man keep referring to something 10 years ago. And at some time, anytime that thing can become violent, if you are not smart and pray, one day he will kill you. Because when people move from resentment to bitterness, they can easily commit murder. It destroys marriage. It destroys marriage. The women, because they cannot beat, also they cannot beat. I find a quote somewhere. I pray I'll get it. This is what the person said. When a female no longer gets upset or frustrated with you, you can guarantee that she doesn't care anymore. Silence is deadly. So, if you come to the place to, it's another point that they don't really talk about your matter, they are completely silent. It means that they've left. They're only waiting for opportunity to park. So, when you see that and the thoughts of the marriage, the other partner does not say anything. Even you make a mistake, he doesn't talk. You make a mistake, it means that silence can be deadly. Watch this. A man told his wife he was going for trek. Accidentally on his way, let's say he's going to Kumasi on a trek. He got to somewhere in Sawam and remembered that, hey, there is an important document I've left. He drove and came back to the house. The wife thought he was in Sawam. And when he came, the house, the woman was sleeping with his driver, or I forgot, other driver or somebody in the house, and he caught them red-handed. So he entered the room, they were having sex. And he's, sorry, excuse me. She went to his drawer, took his document, and left. She left. She came back. Oh, honey, as if nothing has happened. Honey, oh, how are you? Is everything okay? How are the children, everything? Please, I will need your love. He never talk about it. The woman started growing. After 2 weeks, he died. When he was dying, then he wrote a note down. The man killed his wife by silence. So silence is a killer. It is dangerous. You know you have done something, but the other party is not talking. If she came back and said, is that what you have done? And quick, it could have hit her. But not the man pretended nothing has happened. She didn't touch her. She didn't sleep with her. Oh, what is it? Today, do you know something? Have you heard the news? Come, everything is fine. And never talk. Never. It was not an issue to be discussed. And the way he's behaving, you can't even raise the issue. Because have I complained? No. I have not complained. Life is going on. He died. Silence is a killer. So do you know something? Do you know something? I'm going to tell you during the dinner. Mommy is naturally a person who doesn't talk. But I force that thing out of her. I say, you have to talk before you kill me. You will talk. So sometimes I extract it. There are times I travel with her, I say that, what are the things I've done this year that you don't like? And I'll push her to talk. Because when people keep piling the mistakes, it comes to a place, it becomes a volcano. And when it explodes, anything can happen. I'll tell you things. I will show you practical side that when people marry for 20 years and 30 years, it's not 20 years of only honey and butter. It's 20 years of struggle, 20 years of forgiveness, 20 years of forgetting, 20 years of overlooking, 20 years of submission, 20 years of mutual respect. So it's not just 20 years of sex. All kinds of things come together. Most time, they only show you the trophy. They don't show you the scar. So what do you do when you marry somebody that doesn't talk? However, me too, I like talking. When I keep quiet, I can easily kill her. So there's something I'm going to talk one day. It's called conflict resolution. When there is a problem, who starts the process of the resolution? Who initiates it? Who starts talking? That is where two proud people will destroy themselves. It is dangerous to come to the place where all of you know that this is what has sparked the thing. Me, I love to solve conflicts in the bed because I must take my tights. I don't like conflict that we solve somewhere. It has to be on the bedroom. And I normally like the bed. Because when you wake up, I'm sorry, after that, the football match must start. I will tell you at the dinner how it works. Don't solve it in a car. When you finish, you can't play match. You need to bring Manchester United and Manchester City together and become the referee yourself. This is it. That is why I'm going to show you that. There is nothing wrong. The anger will reinforce the marriage. Because you must learn, you must know each other by, you don't know a person by only the person showing his good side. You have to also know the weak side of the person. You have to also know his flaws. You have to also know all kinds of things about the person. In fact, there's another thing I'm going to preach. What is in your partner that you don't want to see? There is something in your partner that you hate. And that thing, God will never kill it. Because when God kills that thing, you cannot grow. So sometimes God can only use you because of a character he has put in your wife that you cannot handle. He must use that thing to train you with patience and train you with ability to endure and not be angry. So sometimes there is something in my wife, mommy, that I have talked about the thing and he has not changed. I have prayed, it doesn't change. God told me, I decided, and one day God told me, I am the only one who can change a person. You cannot change a person. And that is where God came with one wisdom point that you don't marry to change your partner. You marry to accept them the way they are. So don't ever deceive yourself that the things you see in courtship at marriage time, it will change. It will rather increase and complicate it. It's never. If you think the woman doesn't like bathing, in the marriage time you won't bath more. No, who cares? Hallelujah. Never. I saw them was no part of Juma or Koba. If you are major, me free a major. So I'm a Koba. They will tell you, major. Yeah, he's busy. Obejare is about 5. Now, if you're a very sensitive person, whatever you are planning to do, he's not bath. So that you have to suspend it. He's working. And then when he sees that, even when he has not bath, you don't disturb, then now he can go for 2 days. Amen. One person came to me and said, my wife doesn't like bathing. The woman also came and said, Papa, am I smelling? I'm not smelling. He said, me, God has blessed me. If I don't bath, I don't smell. So I'm okay. What he's telling is not a point. I told them, I say, are you going to be angry because he doesn't bath? A woman himself, if at a point he doesn't bath, she will feel very uncomfortable. The reason why you are angry is that there are times you want to do something, and because he has not bathed, you can't come. God is training your patience. Endurance. No relationship will test you than the marriage relationship. Whether you are a chief executive, a president, there is nothing painful like coming to the office, everybody is bowing and kotowing. They koto you. And when you come back, it's your no, that your stupid koto. So if you don't fill your mind and become a chief executive at the office and a husband at home, you have problem. Because you can easily carry that ego to the house, that the way they koto you, the woman should koto. You will force her, and sometimes out of peace, she will do it. It's called fanful respect. Yeah. Sit down. I said, sit down. And I'm sitting, but in my heart, I'm standing. That is how we call it. It's called fanful respect. So I'm not doing it willingly. Give the Lord a clap of when I'm preaching. So, one day, one of my Nigerian mentors said something that I laugh. He said that in Nigeria, like the Yoruba culture, they naturally greet bowing. So you are going some elderly person, then you greet, Papa, morning, then they go. And he said some men, they are so useless that there's no need to bow. But because it's a culture, you bow. So he said, sometimes you go to her, you bow, Papa, morning, when you wake up, say, you think I mean it. It means I bow, but I didn't really mean it from my heart, because you don't deserve my bowing. It is called fanful respect. It's there. Amen. Get it straight. Hallelujah. Nothing will test you. Marriage will test you. And during the dinner, I will share some practical things with you. I'm telling you. Everybody, after over 20 years of marriage, I discovered that everybody's marriage can break. If your mind is not renewed and the grace of God is not there, everybody's marriage can be destroyed. And I'll tell you. It can be 30 years, you cut it. Don't ever deceive yourself that the more years you go, the better it becomes. It depends on what you do. Sometimes the more years you acquire, the worse the marriage becomes. So the betterment of the marriage depends on both of you, your attitude. We'll talk about that. We'll talk. And there's one thing. At a certain age of your life, confusion and strife is not good for you. I'm going to show you how people have a lot of hidden sicknesses. Suddenly some high blood pressure, suddenly some hypertension, suddenly this thing. Something is going on that is affecting you. It has started in the natural, now it has gone to the spirit, and it is manifesting through your body. Most of the sickness is as a result of disobeying God somewhere. As a result of holding your wife in your heart, it can bring you a sickness. But the devil won't let you know that the sickness is the cause of this one. As a result of holding your husband, it can shut your womb. I'll tell you all those things. The devil can close it because there is something. It's justified. He didn't do it well. See, what he did was not right. But what right would the people have to crucify Jesus? There is nothing you have gone through that is more than crucifixion. And the crucifixion is somebody who has never sinned. Sometimes I said something at the invasion. There's a difference between having enemies and making enemies. I want to say that again. There is a difference between having enemies and making enemies. Successful people have enemies, but proud people make enemies. So sometimes you claim you have enemies, but you created them. And sometimes, as a result of the way God has blessed you, some people just don't like you. And that is what God said, I'll prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. You didn't create them. So you can create enemies and you can just have enemies. Sometimes people hate you, you don't even know them. You have never met them. They just hate you because you are driving a nice car. They are envious because you are living okay. But some people, they became your enemies because of a certain attitude towards them. So proud people create or make enemies, and successful people have enemies. Your own. Do you have them or you created them? So you can marry your friend and so later make her become an enemy because of your attitude. Or not all marriages breaking started wrong. Some of them started very well, but along the line, what went wrong? We have to come back and find out what went wrong. Listen to me. The Bible said, don't let the sun go down on your anger. So the moment your anger starts 5 o'clock, and by 5 o'clock you are still angry, it means that now you are going to contradict scripture. Once you are going in disobedience to the word of God, and contrary to what God said, it's going to leave the natural to the supernatural. So by 6 o'clock you are angry, then the devil must come in. Because Satan knows that now you are disobeying the word. The only time the devil cannot come after you is when you are in the context of God's word. Once you are walking in disobedience, he has a right to come to your territory. Then 6 o'clock, your anger. 7 o'clock, another thing has come. You refuse to say sorry. 2 days, 3 days, the anger is eating into resentment. Because now, not that you are only angry with your wife. He has done something and you are saying that instead of saying sorry, look at what you have done. Even the first one that you did, we have not spoken. But the reason the second one has come because you have not solved the first. What do you mean by that? If I solve the first one and another one comes, then the second one doesn't become a second, it becomes a new thing. But if the first one is still there and I don't solve it, another one comes, then it becomes second. If the second is not solved, then third, then fourth, then you keep counting. Once Satan counts to a certain point, it must be an explosion. Can I say this? A happy marriage is not a gift, it's a choice. To walk in happiness and peaceful and to live peaceful with your partner is not a gift of the spirit. It's a choice. So you choose to decide that. If fear me pasumji. And obi or pasumji, he has to walk in a spirit of Jaimanenka. And obi or walk in a spirit of Jaimanenka, he has to walk in a spirit of overlooking so many things. I have the right to take you to court, but to waste my time. Far. I saw in Dowena the last time 2 people with blows and people have hung around. One person's nose was coming with blood. traffic has jammed, because when there's something happening, everybody slows down to find out. When I also go there, I also slow down. The person you see, mate, any passenger back on echo. What are they fighting for? A difference of 5 pesos. When I saw the blood that is coming out of the other person's mouth, I say, can 5 pesos solve the hospital bill? They say, prevention is better than cure. That means the price you pay to cure will be more expensive than the price you pay to prevent. Stand to your feet.
God bless you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the message. For further inquiries, contact Well Prayer Center, P.O. Box GP 21421 Accra, or telephone +233 274 009933 or +233 242 472655. Email us on info@portercity.com or visit our website www.portercity.com. Location Plot 16, Nurture Road, Pram, Greater Accra, Ghana.